And thank you to those sponsors. Maybe one of your biggest fears, I know it's mine, is when I think about the future and I say, man, I don't want to go broke in a nursing home. Well, that is the slogan. Don't go broke in a nursing home. But they can tell you how. It's more complex than you think. Larry Weiss is with me once again. He's the owner and the president of Elder Advisors. Yes. Okay, Larry. For those who, first of all, this man is a man of personality. He is a man with swagger. He is a man on a mission.
And very humble and shy and introverted as well, John. You have to be complete disclosure to Kentuckiana. Here at Wave 3, we love Wave 3.
We love you back. We love you back. Okay, an overview.
It should be Feel Good Friday, baby, because I feel good.
He does
feel
good.
Feel Good Thursday.
He does feel good, but I'm telling you this, when he gets his hat on and starts talking about, elder advisors and what they do, he's very serious. He's fun, but he's serious.
Yeah.
So for those who have not seen you in action, tell them about what Elder Advisors is all about.
John, Kentuckiana, what Elder Advisors does is we help families transition their loved ones from their home to home health care, assisted living, or long-term care using financial and legal strategies to protect their assets so they don't go broke in a nursing home. Because the reality is you don't have to. It's never too late to protect assets when someone's in a nursing home. Although people at the beauty shop, at the coffee club, McDonald's, oh, you'll lose everything. You'll have to spend everything down. You don't have to do that if you get to the right people. Like Steve Langdon and McNeely Stevenson, there's always a legal component, and there's always a financial component, which is what Elder Advisors does. And one of the biggest problems we face is people are complacent or the air of resignation. Nothing can be done. Part of what we do is we just take the stress off of people's shoulders because it is a very stressful road to navigate when you're dealing with these type of things. That's why we're doing the workshops. Tammy, the producer. Tammy, wait. Tammy. Camera 3, bring it in tight. We're doing the workshops Monday night at the 4 Points by Sheraton on Crittenden Drive at 6 o'clock, and then for the Indiana community, 10 a.m. at the Hampton Inn on Broadway, just off Veterans Parkway. And Steve Langdon is gracious to come back as our guest speaker to always address the legal component to show families how they don't go broke in a nursing home. But it takes a component of the legal part, which Steve does. He's a former trial attorney. Well, he is a trial attorney now. He was former prosecutor in Clark County. He's now the county council attorney for Floyd County. So he has that legal skill. He works outside the law office. He goes to Medicaid. He files the applications for families because you do have to be aggressive if you're going to protect that lifetime of assets because it is not easy. And I would be remiss. One of my favorite mother-in-laws is Marie. She's probably watching today. Hello, Marie. And, she said that you are by far the second most beautiful man in Kentuckiana. She reserves that beauty praise for, of course, yours truly. Kentuckiana, don't hate me, John. Don't hate me. But you're in the top 5, John.
Thank you. Hey, if
Marie and Will, good people.
If I'm mentioned in the same sentence with you, Larry, I am honored, honestly. It is about asset protection, but much more than that. There's estate planning. There's all kinds of different components, and you believe me, it is worth it for you to attend one of these workshops or get a meeting with Larry Weiss himself. He'll meet with you one-on-one.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many moving parts and so much information. Now, you were going to tell me a little bit of a story. I'm looking at my homework here.
Yep.
At Trinidad, Colorado.
Trinidad, Colorado.
Which I didn't realize. I mean, historic sites, art museums, theater, very vibrant city.
Population 9,000, elevation 6,200 feet, nestled in the southeast corner of Colorado, close to New Mexico. But to bring it back to today, and we've been on the show enough, when we sit down with a family, John, what is one of the first questions that we ask families when we sit down and kind of assess the situation?
I know this because you and I have talked a lot.
Right.
Do you have power of attorney? Right.
Do you have power of attorney, Kentuckiana?
That's right.
Because I'm not an attorney. I don't do the legal part. Steve Langdon does. Gentleman came in Monday. He was at last month's workshop. That would have been in March. We finally get him in Monday, 9 o'clock. And it was about the worst possible situation I've ever encountered with the family situation. Mom is 80, dad is 90, and it's a blended marriage. They've been married for 20 or 30 years, so mom kind of has her money, he kind of has his money. They're both failing. They have dementia issues. So the first thing I asked the gentleman was, do you have power of attorney? And, of course, the answer was no. And I'm like, I don't even know if you can get power of attorney. And then it's made worse because he's all the way in Louisville. I mean, he said, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I don't have the ability to take time off, much less buy a plane ticket, to fly to Denver, take a connecting flight down to Colorado Springs, which is about 40 minutes, and then drive 2 hours down to, the southeast corner of Colorado, Trinidad. It's just incredibly bad, and it's made worse because now Adult Protective Services are involved because they thought they were doing the right thing, which they were. They were having nurses go out 3 times a week to try and do what they can, but they're professionals. They're kind of duty ethically bound to report certain issues to the state if there's a risk of fall or injury to the parents. So APS has been called. He's, on the phone with APS, and it's just a total train wreck. And, I'm good, but I'm not that good. And I think the ship has really sailed for this family because there's choices, but none of them are good. If they had done a trust years ago to protect the assets, that's what Mr. Langdon does. Because one of the things we talk about at the workshop, which, Tammy, please let me run the show. Tammy wants me to remind the viewers of Kentuckiana we have our workshops.
There we go.
Thank you. Tammy, a little late on camera too. Pull it up. Thank you. So we've got the workshops Monday night. Would you stay with me, John? Stay on script.
Okay. I'm behind.
So bling, that's the word that comes to my mind. Bling. Did you see the bling this guy had in the first segment?
Boy, I have some bling.
Well, I was bling, baby. So in any event, Monday night, 6 points.
6 points of Sheridan.
4 points by Sheridan at 6 o'clock.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, and then Tuesday morning for the Indiana people, 10 a.m. at the Hampton Inn. And we really talk about 3 levels of estate planning. If the family in Trinidad, Colorado had done some pre-planning 10, 15 years ago, had engaged perhaps Mr. Langdon to do a lot of pre-planning, they wouldn't be in such a crisis right now because Steve could have developed plans to protect those assets so we wouldn't have to be running around in such a mad scramble. The other variable is the crisis plan. I met a family last night in Seymour. They were referred from a family I helped in Scottsburg. Dad and his daughter Sandy come down. We started taking an application. I don't know how many times I heard the daughter and Dad's 89 years old and still sharp as a tack. And he said, we just feel relieved. We just feel relieved. I mean, we've been waiting for this day for 2 weeks to get in and see you. We just feel so much better. Because part of what we do is we take that weight off their shoulders to carry that stress. So we take the phone calls. We answer the mail. So that gentleman is crisis planning. The house, financially, figuratively speaking, is burning down. We're going to protect all the assets. We're going to move everything over to Dad, Don. He's a community spouse, so we get to keep everything. We move everything over to him, but it's a process to do that. It's much akin to sausage making. We may not want to see the sausage made, but we may enjoy it. Well, we do a lot of sausage making to get that moved over to Dad. It's a very complicated process. That's why we use Steve Langdon at McNeely Stevenson to safeguard and walk through that process. Pre-crisis planning is the third variable, where someone comes in and says, Dad's home right now. I've got 2 families right now that are pre-crisis planning. He's in rehab. They're getting ready to put a $12,000 chairlift to go upstairs because this daughter was in management at UPS. She's an only child. She's trying to do everything, and she's trying to do her last minutes to take care of Dad, at least to know emotionally, I've done everything I can do to keep Dad at home. So they're installing a $12,000 chairlift so he can go upstairs. That's pre-crisis planning. We kind of know where this is headed. So we're doing some things on the financial end, certainly in the legal end with Steve Langdon. So if she calls me a month from now and says, Larry, Dad fell, we can't bring him home because otherwise APS is going to be calling. Right. We need to keep him in a safe, secure environment. We can develop financial and legal strategies that McNeely Stevenson Law Firm does to protect those assets. But the family, to kind of finish today's program with Trinidad, Colorado, if that family had engaged the proper elder law attorney, and there is a distinction, Steve is one of the proper elder law attorneys in Colorado, to develop a pre-plan years ago, the poor son would not be up a creek without any oars.
And here's the bottom line, and I know this about you, there's compassion is one thing, and worrying about the family, and that's all true.
It's tough.
But the bottom line is people are concerned about their money, and like you said, keeping a hold of those assets, securing and protecting those assets. And that's why, when you talk about power of attorney, I will ask you, so when's the time to acquire that, and when's the time to call elder law?
That's a great question, because I've had people say, well, no, I'll get it when we need it. And I'm like, folks, you don't get this. No. You can't wait till Mom had a stroke, and she's in the hospital.
Yep.
I've went to families. I went to the hospitals in the intensive care unit.
It's a sad story.
It's terrible. And Steve and I have went, and sometimes Mom was able to kind of, with the family there, kind of get it done. But you shouldn't have to do that. And shame on Mom and Dad for dragging their feet. They're so concerned about holding on to everything. I don't want my kid to do anything. Well, if you don't have a loving relationship with your son or daughter, when you're 80 and they're 60, I feel sorry for you.
That's another issue, yeah.
Because if you can't trust your son, who's 62 years old, and you're 82, then you've got bigger problems.
That's right.
But you've got to be able to trust people that you know and love and trust to be able to help you in an emergency. You don't wait till you fell and you're incompetent and then say to do it, because you can't do it. Now you're in Trinidad, Colorado.
There you go. Well,
not good.
I don't want to give my wife power of attorney, though, because I'll be in the hospital with a cold and she'll say, pull the plug. He's
John,
gone.
you are so beloved by the community. The guy at the security desk, the person in the operating room, no one is going to let harm come to you, baby. I'm there as your backstop. I'm your backstop. John Ramsey, I'm your backstop. Kentuckiana, go through Larry for John Ramsey.
There you go, yep. Larry, thank you very much. Seriously, though, the workshops are important, and it's great information.
Don't go broke in the nursing home.
On the other side, we're going to give you that information, so go grab a pen. We'll be right back.